first item, Rudagon Sword Seal Talisman. Raises attributes but takes extra damage. Then we have the Twin Blade. Looks like a really cool weapon. You need about 16-17 dex to use it though. One of the earliest S rank items, the Meteorite Staff. We will show you where that is. I have tested it out. It is kind of fun, especially in early game. And then we've got the Black Knife Assassin, which I don't know why he's got reduced HP, but I'll show you how to beat him. I don't think he's that tough initially. And then we got the Crimson Dagger Talisman. You receive health off criticals. So I feel like that's a really good talisman. Not to be confused with the dagger, like I was. Erdtree Burial Watchdog or Cat here. I'll again show you how to do that. And then that comes with the Noble Sorcerer Ash. Then we've got the Beastman of Faerun Azula with the Flame Drake Talisman effect, which gives you a fire buff. Welcome to Smash Games. We're back with Elden Ring Part 13 of our little special edition of bosses and items. Now, as we pick up from the back of Cecile, so yeah, it's just at a church there up the back there. If you have been following along, I'd have full location and stuff like that. We're now actually heading up to the... I'm just calling it the dragon area. There's that massive dragon. You've probably heard about it. You know, the one if you keep whacking its tail and then kill it, you get 80,000 runes. Greyrol's Dragon Ridge. Anyway, I'll show you that in a second. I'm not actually going to do that though, because I just can't do enough damage right now to it. And I'd be sitting there for a good 20 minutes, and I don't really feel like doing that right now. Anyway. I'm going to show you where our first item is, our first talisman that we're going to pick up. Sorcere's Talisman? I can't remember if that's the full title, but anyway, we're going to show you it regardless. You don't have to kill this bat, you can just run past all of them to the ladder, okay? But unfortunately I stuffed around a little bit, which meant that the others started coming around, triggered, and yeah, essentially they... I was poisoned more or longer than I should have been. So yeah, but anyway, it's okay. I can show you at least you can manage it. It's not gonna truly kill you. And realistically, go rest to the site of grace. That's what you should do. If that's causing you such a problem, just go rest. Best thing you can do. Because otherwise, if you run past them, run straight up the ladder, 9 times out of 10, you will not get poisoned. Anyway, so. Enough of that. Make our way up the top. I have no idea what items in there at this point, but I can tell you that it was something. Sorry. Pardon me. So anyway, we're just healing a bit here. So this is what you can do if you don't really want to waste your flasks, especially coming in here. These ghostly knights are quite a bit tougher than, you know, if you're in early game, essentially. So, and to be fair, this weapon I've got, which is the broadsword, is +5. So, you know, I'm this earlier game, definitely good, significant damage. You'll beat most enemies in 1 or 2 swings. But up here, clearly, as you can see, it's yeah, quite a bit more difficult. But anyway, I digress. But, you know, that's just the fun of it. It's just, you know, letting you guys know information. This is what you're here for. To know where shite is, essentially. And what to do with it. You play with it. No, I'm kidding. You wash your hands. Anyway. So, again, we're just healing up here. Clearly, I should have gone rest of the thing. So, I do advise that. I advise you go rest of the grace. If you get poisoned, just go rest. Run back in. You'll be fine. Anyway, so we're just baiting the next ghost here. So... you can just run straight through, but to me, if you take out these first 2, one, you get 1,000 runes each off them, right? Like, it's kind of good, especially early game. I highly advise not to farm here. I don't think these guys are worth the 1,000. Oh, sorry, my apologies. Nearly 1,200. So it's good. It's pretty good. But yeah, ideally, if you can take both of those two out, then you've got a clean run to then drop down here. Now, is a rat just around the corner here, just behind those barrels. To the left there, left of me now. Yeah, so... Anyway, if you take care of him, you'll obviously need to back up or whatever, so you don't get poisoned if you haven't been done so already. It's just a joke at this point. Stupid poison. I didn't have anything to take care of it, I know, because I had a look and I obviously cut it out because when I checked. But anyway, once you kill the rat, then we can now go around to the next couple. Now you'll need to hop across here after breaking that thing. Best thing you can do with these two is lure them back, jump across, let them fall down. That's probably the best way to take care of them, because honestly, at this point they'll probably just kill you if you're not already like up towards mid game at this point. I am not really at mid. I wouldn't say I'm mid game at this point. Anyway, just making a point. Drop down. Anyway, here's Rudagon's Sorcerer Talisman. Wah! Don't mind the rat's butt and the other things poking through. But anyway, the talisman raises attributes but takes extra damage. So in other words, I believe it raises strength... Not strength, sorry. HP, like health, stamina, and I think equipment load or strength? I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, point being, you take extra damage for that bonus. So I don't know if it's inherently worth it. But it could be a fun item if you're in a later game, for example. So, but yeah, anyway. Now, I'm just going to show you my point I made just a little bit before, the fact that I cannot do enough damage to this stupid tail. So yeah, anyway. Moving on from there. So now we're going to go back to Limgrave, Church of Alair. We're just going to take a shortcut. We could have probably taken the first step. Site of Grace is what I'm trying to get at. But anyway, we're going to take a shortcut through here. Run all the way down. You can more or less follow the same path from the first step. Site of Grace, really. And yeah, till you get to the Dragon's Burnt... Yeah, that's it. There you go. Dragon's Burnt Ruins. I almost remembered it. Anyway, just... You don't have to kill all these enemies. I kind of just did it for the fun of it. Really. Because, you know, a little extra ruins never hurt anyone. But yeah, I wouldn't call it a farming spot for early game. That's for sure. These enemies would probably be too much. But if you've got like a +5 weapon at this point, you should be okay. Now, that is... one of those trap chests that'll take you to somewhere else. That specific one will take you to the Celia Crystal Cave, or just cave in general. Yeah, that's the fun one, especially if you're coming through here early game. You're practically screwed. Well, yes and no. You can run out of there, of course. You just have to be able to dodge and, you know, try and time somehow the weird, you know, dozens of arrows coming off those weird cockroach alien creatures. But I digress. Anyway, so yeah. Now, if you come around here, you have to actually jump the wall to actually get in here, because otherwise you probably won't see it initially. But come down here, and this is where our twin blade weapon is. Now, as I said, I'm pretty sure it's 16 or 17 dex, so you will definitely need a few points in that. Looks like a really fun weapon. I do not show it off here at the moment, because I'm just trying to get through this at this stage. So if anyone's really interested, let me know and I'll show you. Like, yeah, by all means. Yeah, there it is there in all its glory. It has a skill spinning slash, so I assume it's something similar to like a scimitar, but it probably has some sort of jump mechanic as well in it, I suppose. But yeah, looks alright. Yeah, anyway, now make our way outside the ruins. I, at this point, am just looking around to see if there's anything extra. There is one roaming, like, Viking cavalry guy. Totally not worth anything at this point. I will point out, though, that under that curved ruin there, opposite the the ruins we just came through, there is an NPC you can talk to who gives you advice on the dragon in this area, and does tell you basically don't bother with him, but though if you beat him and come back, he will then just sort of say, oh, well done, and he gives you something. So I don't remember what it was, sorry. Anyway, we are going to come down here now. We're going to trigger the chest. Now, at this point, you should kill the rats. Not unlike me, who just gets spam fucked at this point. With bites and whatnot. But anyway. Yeah, Cellular Crystal Tunnel. So that I was right. Now, we're going to run through here. There are a couple of interesting items you can pick up, like smithing items, a couple of other fun little things. Then we've got the Site of Grace just down here. Very happy moment, especially the first time I came through here, because honestly, you at this point you'd be, I wouldn't say you'd be breaking your controller, but if you're one of those people that gets quite upset in that respect, I understand I understand. But anyway, now we come out here. That's Celia to the left, the town of Sorcery. Now there is I wouldn't call it the swamp of Ionia. We are in, obviously. Now, I wouldn't call this a secret. It's an ash that is invisible. And the only way to actually get it is to, try and be in its path, swing at it, or, in my case, breathe fire at it. Poison Atrocity is the name of the ash, which I believe does significant poison damage or something. Don't remember, sorry. But anyway, sorry, the creature's not called an ash. The creature's a beetle, essentially, one of those rolling beetles. Now, normally to tell the difference between them, they're red or blue, and then you've got the silver ones. The tiny silver ones, they're the ones you want that have the ashes generally, like that one. Now, I'm just showing you the full suit you pick up, which is the performance robes and traveling gear, essentially. So yeah, that's the full outfit there. So if you're in early game, you can run across here with Torrent. Do be aware, Torrent does not take damage for some reason in rot and swamps, and I have no idea why. But anyway, here is the Meteorite staff. Our probably the most, the earliest item you can pick up that is an S rank. Particularly if you're going a astrology or just magic build in general, I highly recommend it. Now, we're just making our way across. There is a Site of Grace not very far from here where I'm heading right now. Another one of those ghosts that gives you information or a tip or something. But yeah, anyway, Site of Grace. Yay! I think the first time I noticed this, I was just like, oh my god. I think for all of us, it's very similar when you're like, oh, I'm so glad I found this, But anyway, they are everywhere. And a couple of areas, honestly, they're very close together, very generous from soft at that moment. But yeah, now that we've finished that, we're just having a little look. There is a NPC merchant just around the corner there. Now, we've fast traveled over. I'm just showing you now where the location is. That would be the Deathtouch Catacombs. Now, I take this point to say, please don't break your screen, but if you could gently press the like button, subscribe, share, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Anyway, so yeah, Deathtouch Catacombs. I had a whole line of my original dialogue in here, but unfortunately I edited over top of it, and I cannot be bothered. And realistically, I'm going to be able to give you the best advice / information from my point of view, considering that I'm already a good chunk of hours into the game now. I personally feel. There is a ash you can pick up that gives you, when you attach the skill buff, gives you holy damage for a brief period of time. That you can pick up on your way to, what's he called? Gurak. So when you talk to D, and he gives you the quest to go talk to Gurak. So basically, on your way to the portal, there is one of the silver beetle scarabs rolling around there. And just something to note, I know I mentioned a little earlier, but red, blue, silver. Silver's the ashes. Red's the health one, flasks, and blue replenishes your blue FP magic. So, anyway, continuing. We're just revitalizing. Also, just taking note of those arc things. You do need to kill a greater boss in order to go up a tower to then activate or get the ruin thing to apply, and then they give you an extra buff on top of that, apparently. Anyway, here we are at the boss fight. The Black Noith Assassin. Now, he's got some damage taken. Fucked if I know why, but, you know, more power to you. But yeah, anyway, he's not... Look, if you've literally run straight here, and you're not already used to this game a little bit, then yeah, you're going to probably struggle. However, you got your wolf at your ashes, you got wolves, ash, that is, and you're already a little bit stronger. You know, you're already up towards mid-game, then you're going to have a pretty easy time. To point out, I haven't got my +5 broadsword. I've actually just got a Lord Sworn sword, greatsword, which is, I believe at this point, is only +2. Or, no, I think it's actually +3. Essentially, I gather that the broadsword, which you can pick up just near the tower where you find the turtle, in... I forget what it's called. Oh my god, I forget the top of my head. And there we go. I thought I'd just add the clip in so you guys can see the Weeping Peninsula map. Then we've got we pick up a death root. Now, that will go towards Gurak. I will post a guide where to start Dee's questline and how to get to stuff like that in my next video. So, anyway, here is the Assassin's Crimson Dagger. I actually thought it was a dagger and it's a talisman. So, you know, you'd be forgiven for thinking it was or wasn't. Or was. Right. Anyway, now, we're escaping. Sorry. Actually, I forgot. I wanted to come back down and pick up a couple of items that I ran past earlier. So, these do go towards upgrading your ashes. So, I will dedicate some time to that at some point once I get the right NPC to the round table. And her name is Rodrika. Now, you will meet her fairly early on, particularly if you go through the gate there in Limgrave up towards Margot the Ill Omen. Yeah, so okay, you're gonna notice a bit of a theme with these shacks and NPCs sitting in them. And as I said, not just before, I will make some sort of video out of it because I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting the fact that these shacks have, once you're actually aware of what they more or less look like, you will be aware of them from a distance and you will see them. There are quite a few scattered throughout the realms, the lands between. But anyway, now as we make our way down here, I'm also curious to continue the Gurak questline as well. For D, I should say as well, because I'm wondering how many death roots we actually need to pick up in order to, essentially make it a thing. To know like what spells we're going to get and what you get at the end of the quest line. So yeah. Anyway, making our way down here. Just so you know, that statue. My god, I had like the biggest mind blank. Fuck. Statue next to that creature. Essentially, just behind it is the lever, if depending how you like to say it. I usually would like to say lever, but I think Americans prefer lever. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, yeah, I find it best to definitely bait these guys out, or even just try and kill them from this angle if you can. And unfortunately, I do take a little bit too long with this one. because for some reason, just as he throws it, he's just moving out of the way, and it's enough that I'm missing. So that's kind of fucking fun if you're watching it, or if you're actually playing it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, this is what I would have hoped for. Bam, down he comes. Down he comes. Hoi, hoi, hoi. If you've got the space, you can just back up, obviously, and they'll miss. It's quite interesting to note that they out of all the games, of the Souls, Bloodborne, the FromSoft games in general, that this in itself is primarily a culmination of everything, just like the weapon arts, the skills, the dodging, spells, artwork, designs of the layouts of buildings and rocks and terrain, all that sort of shit. So it is quite interesting, especially coming from people who have come from Dark Souls original or even Demon Souls, the original on PS3. Like I actually do have the new Demon Souls. I've just been concentrating on Elden Ring. No, it's just the everything, all the designs, the layouts, everything, just to see where it came from up until now. And if you sit there and think about it a little bit, it does blow you away, just how much better it actually looks. Because realistically, between Dark Souls 1 and 2, there's definitely a significant difference, but you don't truly notice it until it's from to Dark Souls 3. And then of course you look at Bloodborne. Bloodborne came out before Dark Souls 3, and that was a bit of a leap in terms of looks and art and whatnot. And I think DS3 definitely stemmed from the look of it from there. Okay, sorry, back to the game. Just reminiscing a smidge. This is a safe spot. It is fun to note if you've got any high protective gear or a shield that has a high defense against fire, or even the Dragon Crest talisman, which I will pick up towards the end of this video. And I appreciate you stayed tuned this far, because there is a lot to cover. This video has just solely been me doing catch up and showing where I've picked up certain items and bosses I've defeated that I haven't shown yet, because I basically just had a chunk of video that was missing, and then I was trying to connect the dots. So basically this is the amalgamation of that. Some of this is original footage, some of this is added. So, but anyway, I think realistically, if you're watching it this far in, I really appreciate it, because I know how long some of these videos are, and I know sometimes they are not that entertaining. But, sometimes it's just interesting to see someone, if they're doing something that you did originally, or if they work it out first, or if they, fuck it up or whatever. Because when I first started on Dark Souls, that was my first FromSoft game. And I actually went out of my way. I picked up, because this is a couple of weeks before Dark Souls 2 was being released. That's why I picked up 1. But then when I picked up 1, when I picked up 2, I then picked up Demon Souls, the PS3 version. And a bit of reminiscent there, because when I first played Dark Souls, the first one, like most people, absolutely struggled. And yet now it's just absolute nostalgia for me. Even now, doing a guide on it, I have no issue. I can more or less recite the whole game. I'm not saying word for word, but I can tell you basically what you need to do, where you need to go, and how to finish the game. To summarize the entire game, literally, I can do that for you right now. You need to ring the 2 bells of awakening. Okay? So once you've done that, then you need to go up through Sen's Fortress, because it will open after the bells. Go up through there to Analondo, beat Ornstein and Smog, collect the big golden bowl. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. But once you get that, you need to take it back down to where Frumpt is in Firelink Shrine, jump on down, put the bowl in, and then you can start warping between the bonfires, like you can now. There's the lever, obviously. We're just going to fast track back up to the Grace, refresh, and then continue with this little mini boss. But yeah, anyway, once you've done that, then all you need to do, because that will trigger the 4 orangey golden doors opening, like fog gates, but they're orange. Once you do that, you can start killing them. And once you start killing them, by the time you've acquired all forward Lord vessels, you put it into said golden bowl there at under Firelink Shrine, and then you can fight Gwyn. That's it. That's Dark Souls in a nutshell. But that I'm not talking about anything to do with the boss fights, any of the ways you got to go, directions, mapping, or items you need to pick up, ways to cheese all the enemies. Like, honestly, if you're someone who is new and you want to experience Dark Souls, please feel free to go watch mine. It is a casual guide, but I will most certainly get you 100% through. Not 100% trophies. You'll get through. Like, we'll get you through, basically. I'll give you enough knowledge. Anyway, here's the cat. Erdtree Burial Watchdog. It's kind of funny in hindsight. I think FromSoft does have a sense of humor with this. Obviously, it does look a bit more like a cat. Although I do get the wording, watchdog literally refers to someone who is guarding or watching something. But it does look like a cat. As a lot of people have pointed out. But the other thing is that, like, with the 2 fingers and the maidens and, like, come on. That's someone's got a sense of humor. And it's good. It's funny. But anyway, we continue and we beat him. What's interesting, I've already, as I said, I haven't, and that's the Noble Summoning Ash. Probably one of the more, I don't know, I always like the wolf ashes, but I think when you've got, like, the jellyfish one and that one, because they generally shoot, well, one shoots poison, the jellyfish, and the sorcerer one shoots magic bolts. I obviously thought this was something, hence why I was whacking it, but then I realised it was someone making a joke. I got it, of course, it was funny. Try fingering. Yes, we've all put that one down. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying about the ashes. I personally think it really depends on the enemies for certain ashes. Like, for example, against the Guardian just then we just fought, I think if you've got the Soldier's Ash, which you can pick up pretty early as well, you're going to get something that will stand in front of you that'll attack. Unlike the wolves, which will chase, they'll circle and then start to attack. So it really depends on what you want out of it. So in that particular situation, or even coming up to this mini boss down here, the soldiers would work better than the wolves. However, if you're pretty confident and you can tank it, then the wolves definitely come in handy, particularly when they're necessary to stagger them or take aggro, essentially. But as you can see in this one, I didn't actually use an ash, and that's only because I'm pretty confident. And honestly, this is probably one of the first little mini bosses you come across, apart from the Erdtree, the Sentinel, the Golden Sentinel horse. Which, honestly, by the time you get Torrent and you got some ashes, you probably should be able to beat it with some practice, and it shouldn't be that hard in that respect. You know, if you're ducking and weaving, dodging and whatever, running back and forth, like, yeah, those tactics will work on him. And in that respect, there you go, the wolves won't really work that well against him because they're going to get absolutely smashed in a couple of hits. Unless you actually beef them up enough so that they're actually strong enough. Now, sorry, against this guy here, as you can see, he's got a couple of move sets. If you run away, he'll charge at you. If you roll out of the way, you'll get a few attacks in. He's got an attack pattern where he'll swing several times. And there's the Flame Drake's Talisman? Sorry, totally forgot off the top of my head. The Flame Drake Talisman, there we go. Anyway, that's the end of this video. As a tutorial, my thoughts and advice. I hope you appreciate it, I guess. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.